Now let's remember that the left hand is governed from the right hemisphere.
For some people, an entire half of their brain can't really communicate with the rest. These are people who have undergone split brain surgery, and it's as if they have two minds in a single brain.
The human brain contains two sides, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, right? And they are connected by a big bundle of fibers. It's called the corpus callosum. All the communication from one side of the brain to the other has to pass through this fiber bundle.
For some people with epilepsy, a seizure in one hemisphere can quickly spread to the other by way of the corpus callosum. But if that bridge is surgically severed, a seizure can no longer cross to the other side of the brain. Only half of your visual field goes to each side of the brain.
When you're looking straight ahead, everything to the left side of that space goes only to the right hemisphere. And the opposite is true for the right side of the space.
The left part of the brain is where your language and speech centers are. That enables you to talk, enables you to understand language, and all the rest. And the right side of your brain is very important in the evaluation of emotions, evaluation of visual space.
The researchers conducted tests to explore how a split-brain patient's two hemispheres work independently from one another, including a now famous experiment of a patient named Joe.
Look right at that.
By quickly flashing a word to just the left side of his visual field, that word would go exclusively to the right half of his brain, the half that can't talk.
So the only way we're going to know that it registered is if he can write something out, okay?
With his hand that is controlled by his right hemisphere.
Exactly, his left hand. We flash the word Texas.
Look right at that. See anything?
And flash. Didn't see the word.
His right hemisphere is seeing it.
We're seeing it, but the right hemisphere, at this point in his surgery, cannot talk.
Right.
All right, I want you to draw for me that thing upside down.
So he claims to not have seen anything. Yeah. He was able to do Texas upside down.
But what's interesting is he has no idea what he's drawing, and we know because we saw the word.
I can't tell what it is.
Wow.
So then later on, I show him the word again, and I ask a different question about what he saw.
Once again, they showed the word Texas to just his right nonverbal hemisphere. So when asked about what he saw, all his left hemisphere can say is,
I'm aware of a word, I just didn't see what it was.
Draw something that goes with that, a symbol of that.
Oh, wow. So he draws a cowboy hat.
And clearly his right hemisphere knows exactly what he's drawing. But his left is still confused. It's like doesn't understand that.
Right.
What's that?
Cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat? What was the word?
Texas.
Did you see Texas?
No.
The split brain phenomenon suggests that there can be two separated minds, if you will, inside of a skull. The cooperation is on the paper, not inside the head. It's an astounding example of cross-cueing and management of two mental systems into one unified act. And the idea is maybe that's going on in us all the time, too.
Each of us has a sense that we're a unitary being, but actually that belies the fact that each of us, each of our minds, is actually composed of lots of different pieces that are doing different things. And different information can be represented in different parts of that machinery. And so a search for where am I in all of this is a little bit misguided because the I is not such a unitary thing in the first place.
That feeling of unity of me is actually distributed across almost 90 billion neurons. This illusion that there's a single person inside our skulls.
Inside your brain are over 100 distinct regions. Many different systems in the brain control what you do, from movement to vision to speech, and even social interaction.
I
think most human beings like to believe that their mind is under their own control. If I want to, I can stand up right now. I can do that. And that gives me, I think, the false belief that everything I do has been chosen by me. And if there is a story from the brain to tell, it is that we are quite wrong.